Hard apple cider is a refreshing alcoholic beverage enjoyed by many around the world. It's made from fermented apple juice, much like beer is made from grains, but with a distinct fruity flavor. The process of making hard apple cider is simple yet fascinating, involving several key steps. First, apples are carefully selected and then crushed to extract their juice, which is the base of the cider. Then, yeast is added to the juice to kickstart the fermentation process. The yeast consumes the sugar in the juice and produces alcohol and carbon dioxide, creating bubbles. This entire process is known as fermentation, which can take several weeks to complete. The result is a slightly sweet, tart, and bubbly drink that is both refreshing and satisfying. Hard cider can range in alcohol content from around 4% to 8% or more, depending on the recipe. The flavor of the cider is influenced by the type of apples used, the yeast strain, and the specific fermentation process, making each batch unique. Not all apples are created equal when it comes to making cider. Choosing the right apples is crucial for a delicious and well-balanced cider. The best apples for cider have a balance of sweetness, acidity, and tannins. This balance is what gives cider its unique and refreshing taste. Sweetness comes from the sugar content of the apple. The higher the sugar content, the more alcohol can be produced during fermentation. Acidity provides tartness and helps to balance the sweetness. It adds a crisp, refreshing quality to the cider. Tannins contribute to the cider's mouthfeel and complexity. They add astringency and depth, making the cider more interesting. Some popular cider apple varieties include Kingston Black, Dabinet, and Yarlington Mill. Each of these varieties brings its own unique characteristics to the cider. These apples are often grown specifically for cider production. They are cultivated with care to ensure the best quality for cider making. They may not be the best for eating, but they make fantastic cider. The result is a drink that is both flavorful and satisfying. Once the apples are selected, they are washed and then ground into a pulp called pomace. The pomace is then pressed to extract the juice. Traditional cider presses resemble a large screw press. Modern cider makers may use more efficient hydraulic presses. The extracted juice is called must. It's cloudy and contains bits of apple solids. Some cider makers prefer to filter the must before fermentation, while others leave it unfiltered for a more rustic flavor. The magic of fermentation. Fermentation is where the magic happens. Yeast is added to the apple must, and the mixture is placed in a fermentation vessel. The yeast consumes the sugar in the must and converts it into alcohol and carbon dioxide. This process can take anywhere from a few days to several weeks, depending on the yeast strain and the temperature. During fermentation, it's important to monitor the temperature and sugar levels to ensure a successful fermentation. Flavoring and carbonation. The final touches. After fermentation is complete, the cider is typically racked or transferred to another container to remove it from the sediment. This process ensures that the cider is clear and free from any unwanted particles that could affect its taste and appearance. At this stage, cider makers may choose to add additional flavors or carbonation. This is where creativity comes into play, allowing each batch to have its unique character and taste profile. Popular flavor additions include spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, which can give the cider a warm, comforting taste, especially popular during the colder months. Fruits like berries or pears, and even hops, can be added to create a refreshing and fruity twist, making the cider perfect for summer gatherings. Carbonation can be achieved by adding a small amount of sugar before bottling, which triggers a secondary fermentation in the bottle. This natural method of carbonation gives the cider a gentle fizz. Alternatively, cider makers may use forced carbonation, similar to how beer is carbonated. This method allows for more control over the level of carbonation, ensuring consistency in every bottle. Once the cider is flavored and carbonated, it's bottled, labeled, and ready to be enjoyed. Whether you prefer a spicy, fruity, or classic cider, the final touches make all the difference in creating a delightful beverage. From the orchards to your glass, your favorite apple cider can come in many different forms. I hope you enjoyed this fascinating journey into making of apple ciders. For more interesting facts, subscribe to the Knowledge Fridge channel to learn more about this amazing world. Till next time.